Hey, what's up, crew? So, I am in my bathroom at my house, and we are pretty much going to go over the basics. This is very basic of hanging an IV. As nurses, you're gonna have to know how to hang IVs. You'll hang many of IVs. Now, a lot of facilities, some of the more advanced hospitals, you'll have mostly pumps as far as that's controlling your flow rate. But there are still facilities that will use the old school manual drip rate, and so I'm going to also show you how to kind of calculate that as well. But the most important thing, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you maintain a clean area, a sterile area, because the IV that's going to be inserting into your patient is already opening up a portal for possible entry for bacteria. So you want to make sure that everything that you are dealing with is it remains sterile. So I always like to start by, coming in and introducing myself. Hey, my name is Clyde. I'm going to be your nurse today. It looks like the doctor ordered you, 1,000 mLs of fluid. Okay. Give me a second. So wash your hands. Definitely want to wash your hands, and then just put on some gloves. That way, it will. I actually bought gloves from Amazon, and they were a bit too small, but just so I can practice at home, my different skills. But anyway, you want to put on your gloves, and you don't want to introduce anything, even though you wash your hands. You don't want to introduce anything to that IV site or to that IV. So you do that, put on your gloves, and then the first thing you want to do is there's normally a cap. Let me grab the IV. There's normally a cap that's here on the top of the IV bag. So you want to pull it, and then you want to open up your tubing. Now, with the tubing, it's very important that you keep it sterile. You have to keep it sterile because, like I said, you can really introduce any type of microorganisms right into the patient's bloodstream, and then that can cause sepsis and a whole host of other issues. And when you have an illness or an infection that occurs at the hospital, the insurance doesn't pay for it anymore, which means the hospital has to eat the cost. And, it's just not good. And then you want to protect your patient. As nurses, we are the patient's advocate. I'm just taking this off here. So you want to make sure it doesn't hit the ground. Keep it. This is the spike. Let me get a little closer. So this is the IV spike. And, it has the drip chamber, your tubing. This has two clamps. So you have a rolly clamp here. You see? And then you also have just like a little push manual clamp. Then you have for lack of better words, where you can push medications here, an additional port. And then this is what's going to actually be connected to the patient's line. That's already been connected to the patient. So this is what's going to be. So like I said, you just want to maintain that area. Now, you can obviously already have the bag hung. For my IV pole, I am actually going to just use this hanger, hanger here, just to kind of simulate that. But you can either spike up, but as I learned in school, spiking up, you're going against gravity, so you're going to have to use more force to go up. So it's better to just spike it, when it's sitting down. So I'm just going to demonstrate here. So you take the spike, you see it's a sharp spike, you see? And I'm just going to go, and you have to go in with some force. But once you have it, you've got it. That's what it looks like here. See? All right. So the first thing I will want to do is I want to make sure that all of my clamps are clamped, because in a second we're going to prime the line. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to pull you in a little closer, but do you see that? Just make sure both of them are closed. And the rolling clamp, because the rolling clamp is actually what you're going to use to kind of control your drip factor. All right, so then you're going to go ahead and invert it, and then you can hang it on your IV pole. So that's my IV pole there. So I'm going to pull again. This is something that is going to be connecting to the patient, so you definitely never want to have this hit the ground, or you just want to know. So first thing we want to do is we need to prime the line, and when we say prime the line, that pretty much means, I'm going to bring this a little closer to you. You see all this air bubbles? Let's see if it can focus, yes. You see the air bubbles? There's air bubbles, and air bubbles are no good. So you want to prime the line and get rid of those air bubbles. So you can either prime it over a basin or over a sink or over the trash can. Wherever you're going to prime it at, just make sure you have somewhere for it to flow out. So first thing I want to do is I want to take my line and I want to undo this clamp first. So I want to undo the first clamp. I want to squeeze the tubing to get about, no more than half, but about a third of a way to half full. About a third of a way to half full. So you want to squeeze this, and let me try to zoom it in just a little further. Okay, there we go. So you want to squeeze and let some of the fluid down. That's a little less than half. So this is actually where we want to do it. So next thing you want to do is you want to, let me just pull it out just a little bit real quick. You want to, so you have this one undone. You want to roll this one open, and then you want to let it flow. So as you can't probably see it yet, but your rolling clamp is really how you're going to get your drops per minute. Also how you're going to get your line primed. So let's look here. So I've clamped it down now. There's still a little bubble there, so let's go ahead and get it out. Good. So I mean, it's not like the most difficult thing in the world, but it definitely takes some skill. So now, you know, all of my line is, let me zoom it in just a little more. All of my line is primed. There's no bubbles, no air, no anything. So the next thing we want to do is we want to calculate our drop factor. So I'm going to zoom you in on this, but what you want to do is you want to manipulate the rolling clamp. You want to manipulate the rolling clamp, and first thing you want to do is you want to get it down by your hand. So you want to bring it lower. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start the drops. Again, you want to control the clamp with your dominant hand and figure out your drop. So if it needs to be 3 seconds between each drop, so what I like to do is I like to do 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, and then another drop should drop. So for example, let's do, it should be a drop every 3 seconds. Let's just do that. So first, you should be able to see now it's flowing. You want to have your base in there. But then, so let's look at the drops. So I'm going to restrict my clamp. And it's usually about halfway. Let me show you. So about halfway is usually about a good way to start. So let me bring you in just a little closer, so because I really want y'all to see these drops. I really want y'all to see these drops. Sorry, the camera is shaking just a little, but I really want y'all to see these drops. Okay. So we've already established that you want it to be about halfway. So let's go ahead and let the drops come. So you see the drops? That's too fast. I can already tell you that now. So let's 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1. Nope, just a smidge faster. So let me tighten it up just a little more. 1,000, 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. See, just a little slow. And you have to make just the slightest movement. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. You see? 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. The drop hits the water after I say 3 1,000. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. My drop factor is there. So I know. So once you get your drop factor, you don't bother this anymore. You control your flow with this clamp. Finally, what you're going to do, you're going to want to, now that you got your drop factor, and you can clearly see it, you know, each time. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. It's so perfect, you know. What you want to do is you want to either connect it to the patient. So if you're ready to connect to the patient, always use alcohol wipes. Always sanitize the area. So you want to sanitize the line that's connected to the patient at least 15 seconds. And then I like to go ahead and sanitize this as well. I mean, you can never have too much, especially this has been out in the open air. So go ahead and sanitize it, wipe it at least 15 seconds. If you're not ready to use it, they do have these cool little caps. Let me show you. They have these cool little caps, and you just put it on the end there. Put it on the end there. So that's pretty much my guide to hanging IVs. I will show you guys a little later, maybe in another video, part 2 if this video does pretty good, on how to actually administer medications. And I will probably have to see in my lab bag if I actually have an extra, like a kit. But leave the comments down in the comment section if y'all have any questions, and let me know if y'all like these type of videos. Yeah, I mean, thank y'all for watching, and I will holler at y'all later in the next video. Peace.